In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdul Khalik Darwish. Dear friends, when the two countries are at odds with each other, what the world bodies and the regional bodies and the major powers in the world, they tries to motivate them, both of the countries, that they should start negotiations. Whatever sort of conflict they do have, they should start negotiations. They should continue in the negotiations till the issue is resolved. This is what the world bodies tries to motivate the two countries going to have a kind of conflict, escalations in the relationship, in the conflict. What is, why do they say this? Why do they motivate? Why do they emphasize and up to some extent even pressurize in some of the cases? Because they think that every conflict can be resolved by the negotiations. This is what they believe in, whether it is true or not, whether they themselves practice it or not. But they do emphasize that start a negotiations, continue the negotiations till the issue is resolved. What the same is what those countries are doing, saying, emphasizing to India and Pakistan. Though their own role might not be a very fair one, might not be an unbiased one, maybe they too are having a partial approach, most of them. But at least one thing is there which we can learn out of it. That one thing is that the negotiations are very important. Communication between the two parties, either two individuals, from the two individuals to the two countries. Communication is very important, very important, very important. This talk of today is not on the international relationship at all. It's not an higher discussion at all. Neither do I have any sort of expertise upon it. In that context, I am quite a layman. Dear friends, one thing that is very important, and very important indeed. That one thing is to communicate and to keep communicating till the conflict is resolved. To negotiate and continue your negotiations till the things are till the things get settled between the two parties. We must understand that the most important ever, the most important management ever is that of oneself only. How to manage ourselves well. That is the most important thing ever. And the second most important thing is to be able to communicate, interact successfully with the rest of the people. This is the only creature and the only species we do have to interact with on equal footings, or mean something which is essential. As for the rest of the creatures are concerned, rest of the species are concerned, Obviously, we cannot communicate with those people, with those creatures. We can use those species, any of those. After all, we are found raising the cattle for the sake of dairy products, for the sake of meat, for the sake of eggs, poultry farming, etc. We are found using the marine life as well. Whatever it is, the birds, the reptiles, the all the creatures. We treat and deal those all species like a master. But as for the human beings are concerned, we do have to negotiate and we do have to communicate. That is something really important. So if it is up to that much importance, if it contains that much of importance, then obviously we need to take it seriously, rather we need to take it very seriously as well. And we do have to learn it. We do have to learn it. The more skilled we are in it, the better it would be. The more good we are at it, the better it would be really for us. And uh, that is one of the most important skills ever. The knowledge about how to interact with the people and how to interact with the people successfully, I think that is very important indeed. So first is that we do have to know that our communication and the dialogue should continue till the issue at hand is resolved, not to snap your relationship, not to tell the other party that you are their enemy, that we are their enemy. Never ever, we don't need to become their enemy at all. Rather, we need to communicate it to them that we are their well wishers. We are not against those people at all. We have every respect for them. But obviously, as far our own stakes and interests are concerned, nobody is going to take care of it but we ourselves. Nobody will take care of it but we ourselves. So we cannot afford to overlook it. We can't afford to put it on the back burner. And then we need to understand what the human being are in general, how to interact with the human beings in general, the informations about the nature of the human being, because we ourselves as a human being, and that is not so difficult, that is not so complicated. We also need to understand the kind of nature this particular person is having. We also needs to understand. We also needs to understand the kind of nature this particular person is having, the person I'm interacting with. And we do have to believe in the negotiations. We do have to believe in the communication. We do have to understand the importance of it. And there is no issue which cannot be resolved through dialogue, through communication, through negotiations, through give and take, by interacting rightly, peacefully with the other person, either individual, family, or group, whatever they are. We do have to believe in it on the one hand, that every issue can be resolved through negotiations, through communication, through interaction. Everything else can be done. Though it's a skill like all other skills which needs to be learned, and where we need to do some sort of work, and maybe the hard work, maybe the meticulous work, that is really important. Once we are found paying that much of attention to it, I think that learning the skills upon it, it will not be that much difficult at all. Although quite a good amount of work is needed, and that too on a consistent basis, we need to avail the research done by the individuals and by the institutions. We need to avail the findings of that. So we need to learn actually whatever has been already learnt, and obviously that is enough for us. After all, overwhelming number of us are just found managing their own or their family matters. We don't have to run the countries, but the countries can also be run and managed by the very intelligent and very skilled people. Those who are very intelligent, very skilled, they are having the ability to manage the countries as well. Communication, learning to communicate successfully, learning to interact successfully, and having the vast number of people with whom to interact, I think that is something really great. That is something really great. The most important skill ever is about learning how to manage oneself, and immediately after that, it becomes important enough to understand, to learn how to manage, how to successfully interact, how to successfully negotiate, how to successfully communicate with other people. Though both of these things will be overlapping as well at certain points, but still it is as big and as important that it should be kept separately. It should be learned separately. Although, since we are a human being, we need to look upon ourselves as well, how we can be managed, if at all we can be managed well by this way or by that way. I think the other people can be done as well. We need to understand what the human beings are in general, and how to deal and how to treat and how to interact with the human being. And after that, we also need to understand about this particular person. This particular person we are interacting and we are dealing with. We need to go into this. We need to understand what are the strengths of this person and what are the weaknesses of this person, what is the temperament and what are the attitudes of this particular person, a group we are interacting with, we are dealing with. Thank you. Jazakallah.